Most young people are caught up in the cyber matrix, which is designed to be addictive and isolating. I would like to offer a few suggestions later on in the video on how you can break free from this and perhaps regain some of the freedom that us old folks had in our youth. This video was addressed to Gen Z and younger people. They have it really bad, much worse than we did in our youth. I'd like to talk a little bit about how we can break free from the cyber matrix that youth finds itself in. It's designed to keep you from organizing a resistance to the technology that's enslaving you. Everything is screwed up nowadays, and everything's so screwed up that we're looking for some sort of an escape, and a lot of times that escape is right in front of your eyes if you know where to look. There are a lot of people that are creative, that are artists in Generation Z. Embrace the sort of perfectionism that's not what the 60s was all about. It was more about creativity and being human, tactile. The art of that period, the psychedelic art, was interesting from the point of view that it hadn't been done before. And it was created by humans, flawed humans, yes, but humans. There were a lot of mistakes made back then, and I would like to see young people today avoid those same mistakes. So this is why I've entitled this video, A Hippie's Letter to Generation Z. I realize the problems that Generation Z faces are nothing like the problems we faced. They're worse. They're more difficult. People are more isolated. I wish we could live in a world where people became less isolated, began to build a sense of community. Even here on YouTube, I'm looking for a sense of community constantly, just like it used to be and back when it first started. Now we're at a point where everybody's searching for some kind of fame or fortune, and that's not what it's all about. That's not what life is all about. Life is about creating art. At least worthwhile life is about creating art, not creating computer-generated AI slop. And the faster we can get away from that, the more we will discover the inner beauty that lies within everybody. I think the whole idea of peace and love is wonderful. I think it gives humans a chance to reflect on what makes them miserable. And what makes people miserable is the isolation and the total arguing and backstabbing online. Because when you're talking face to face with a human, you're not going to be as obnoxious as people are on social media. And social media to me has been a terrible development because it's turned into anti-social media, and that is something that we can get away from. We can get away from it by engaging in creative pursuits, by painting, by fixing up an old car, by analog, recapturing analog and actually using it instead of the big tech that's got us all enslaved. Everybody needs to feel valued. And you are all valuable humans. Humans are all unique. Humans are all valuable. And we live in a world, and especially online, where people judge themselves. They judge themselves by popularity. But the popularity is something that fades very quickly and leaves you profoundly unsatisfied ultimately. What makes people satisfied is a sense of community. We're meant to spend time making actual music, not creating it on AI, which is not real music, making real art with painting, with drawing, screen printing, using technology sparingly. Younger people grew up in the computer age, and you guys have lost a lot. We humans are imperfect, and we're supposed to be imperfect. We're messy, we're real. We're not this slick, artificial version of ourselves that we try and present to the outside world. I want reality. I would like to use this channel to be more expressive in my creativity and reach out to the younger generations and perhaps create some modern hippies, because that's what the world needs right now. We need to react with love to a lot of the hatred that we see around us. And it's difficult. It's very difficult to love some people. But part of the whole philosophy of the 60s was that love is the most important thing you can do. And sure, it's not about looking beautiful. It's not about looking like a supermodel or looking like some kind of a Greek god. It's about accepting people with all their flaws, all their human flaws, and stealing your life back from technology. It's not easy to do. Not when it's being crammed down your throat 24/7, and people expect you to have all the latest gadgets and update your phone, and it doesn't matter. Those things don't matter. And in the end, when you're lying on your deathbed, they will matter not at all. What will matter is how much love you have to give other people and animals, and just finding a place where we accept each other in all our imperfections. I hate the division between the generations. It makes no sense. Every human is an individual and different, and to try and categorize them all because of one generation is this and the other generation is that, and it's crazy. A lot of the hippie movement was based on checking out of the corporate culture, of realizing the shallowness of it. And how do we rebel against that corporate culture, except by perhaps using an old film camera to take pictures, to sketch, to paint on a canvas, to use whatever skills you have developed in your life, and turn off the AI. There's so much enshittification of everything. It's time to de-enshittify your own life by engaging in reality, in community, by turning off the corporate structure and saying, no, I'm not going to participate. I am going to be a human being. Corporations are not people. Corporations exist for one reason, and that one reason is to make money. And they don't care about you. They will use you and spit you out faster than you can say Jiminy Cricket. Does anybody remember Jiminy Cricket? The world is trying to turn you into a data point. You're more than a data point. But there are ways that we can fight back against corporations turning us into data points, turning us into something less than human. It's not all about Woodstock and tie-dye shirts and Birkenstock sandals. It's about refusing to go along with a corrupt system. And we need to bring that attitude back. Young freaks, old freaks, they're all freaks. And freaks are people who have opted out and refused to participate in a corrupt system. There's got to be more of a sense of how to individually connect with people. That's what we need. That's what is missing from today's society. I want to bring that back. I know it's a tall order, and I know I've got a tiny YouTube channel, and that just keeps me going, knowing that there are people out there, millions of people who feel the same way I do, but they're not allowed to express it, or they're afraid to step outside of the comfort zone of the electronic devices that they use, that are constantly distracting us from life. When you can't appreciate sitting down and listening to birds sing, when you can't notice anything because you're glued to that stupid screen. And this is what they want. This is what they want you to be. They want you to be isolated from each other. And what better way to do it than through technology? And that's how they have done it. They have isolated everybody and made them slaves to their devices. And it's time to refuse it all. I think that it's time that we all got together, and especially over the generations, because I hate this whole stereotype of various generations being this or that. We're all humans, we're all individuals, we're all different. You cannot homogenize a generation, whether it be boomers, Generation X, Generation Y, millennials. It's all the same. We're all individual humans. And we all should have human rights. And we are up against forces that are determined to destroy human rights, to totally get rid of any individual thought, any creativity, any sort of love for each other. And it's time that we refused to participate. It's time to fight back. And while the cyber matrix is real and exists across society, it's also fragile. It's fragile because we live in an age of diminishing resources. As long as that fragility is hidden and people believe that inevitably the cyber matrix is all there is, it can be broken down. You know, what are some of the things that you can do to break down the cyber matrix, to escape momentarily or completely? Try just one day of living. And this is an act of rebellion, extreme rebellion given what we're dealing with these days. A lot of depression is created by people being afraid because they're reading constantly about what's going on in the world and how terrible it is. And it's always been that way. It's always been terrible. There's always been horrible things that you can choose to focus on. But instead, let's focus on what's positive, what's beautiful about human beings, because there are many things that are beautiful about real human beings, that express love, that express hope, optimism. Yeah, I'm cynical, but I'm optimistic in some ways. I just think there's got to be a way out of this trap that's been set for everybody, for all the generations. Really, it's time to embrace our own individuality and express ourselves as unique individual humans. Peace. We can find peace still. we can within ourselves. Even if there's no peace in the world, we can find that peace within ourselves. And that is how to escape the trap. Now, down in the comments, let me know what you think about this, and what are the things that you specifically can do to escape the cyber matrix. Just one thing. How about trying one thing to escape the cyber matrix for one day, and let me know how it goes? Because without that, we are just slaves. And that's all we will remain, is slaves to technology that doesn't serve us. It only serves the corporate interests. Do something good. It'll make you feel much better. If you're feeling down and depressed, find somebody that's got it worse than you and help out, even in little ways. I've come to the conclusion that my channel primarily appeals to the freaks and misfits in society. And I'd like to invite more of you. So if you feel like you're a misfit or you don't fit into society, then let me know in the comments and let me know what you're into, who you are. I'm curious to know, particularly people that I haven't heard from before. Let me know who you are and why you feel like a misfit and a freak, and what you are doing to fight back. Well, those are a few things that I thought could help you. I'm not sure whether it did or not, but whatever. Thank you for watching, and remember, love, peace, community.